And welcome to another episode of the Football Smack Talk Show. I'm your host, Ryan.
I'm Eric.
Welcome, everybody, to, I guess the first episode after preseason, after training camp. We are officially in the waiting period for the regular season to start. And obviously, we couldn't be any more excited. I'm thrilled. Cuts are happening. Rosters taking form, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. A bit of what the roster currently stands and what it'll potentially look like on that opening night or opening day in Atlanta. Before we kind of get into that, we just wanted to say a quick shout out to all those who recently have been showing some love and support to not only our show, the Football Smack Talk Show, but the Philly Sports Alliance. We got a lot of big things kind of coming up. One of which, and I will, if I can find the thing, right there on the bottom, La Terrain watches are now officially sponsoring the Philly Sports Alliance. Nice. Honestly, these watches are dope as all hell. I've ordered one. It's all black. It looks really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, if you use code PSA, you'll be eligible for site-wide discounts. So please make sure you head over to there. Let them know that you found it through the Philly Sports Alliance, and you'll get some nice, dope watches, get your game up, and save a little money. So,
yeah, I mean, look, up until a couple days ago when I saw this, I never had considered myself a watch guy. I checked out that site. I'm a watch guy now.
Right, dude. All of them look really, really cool. They don't have like a crazy amount where it's just like so much you don't know.
Right, it's not overwhelming. Yeah,
it's very detailed, and they have some accessories and stuff like that. So, it's really, really, really cool.
So I'm proof that even if you're not a watch guy, you can find one that works for you on that site.
Yeah, for sure. So, there we go. So just wanted to get that out of the way, and we'll certainly mention that throughout the broadcast tonight. But yeah, it's a wonderful. Oh, what the heck just happened?
All right, it's a party up in here.
Party up in here. Backgrounds are changing. Woo-woo. But yeah, so check them out. LaTerrain.com, the official sponsor of the Philly Sports Alliance. All right, so let's get into the most recent news of today. And that centered around the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list.
Yep.
And how two members of that said list are no longer on it. And that is safety Roddy McLeod and second rounder interior lineman, let's call him Landon Dickerson. They've both been removed from the PUP list. That necessarily doesn't mean anything for week one status, but it's a great sign that they'll be available hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what that means, is that you think they're going to be available sooner rather than later. And I think that's especially telling for a guy like Landon Dickerson, who, like, it may not have been in their plans to use him right away, but, like, it's almost like they can't justify keeping him on that list right now because of where he's at in his recovery. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Speaking of Bald Eagle, I can't wait for Wednesday when the season gets started. Not that I don't like every one of it,
sure,
but I really do love the Bald Eagle breakdown. So,
Wednesday, what is that? September 15th?
It would be the 15th, right?
Yeah, Wednesday, September 15th. Appointment viewing, everybody. You got to check that out.
100%. It is must watch podcast. So like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean that, either of these players are going to be available week one. And obviously we don't really know what's going on with Landon Dickerson as far as, what he's been able to actually do, because he hasn't really been able to do anything.
Right.
I'm assuming he's diving headfirst into the playbook and and that sort of thing, and learning and going through walkthroughs and stuff maybe, but he hasn't been able to be out there yet. And the same with Rodney McLeod. Now, obviously, when healthy, Rodney's going to be your starting safety. So
Right.
we'll see if that's the case come week 1 with Atlanta.
Yeah, you got to put that up there.
John, I love it. John's on the quest to get the Phillies. John, by the way, who is one of the co-hosts of another great show on the Philly Sports Alliance.
Yeah, my favorite baseball podcast.
It really is. The Diamond Club podcast is the best Phillies podcast. So I know we're talking birds, but if you love the Phillies, check out Philly Sports Alliance and the Diamond Club podcast. But yeah, he's on the hunt to get the Phillies to actually follow him. And I think it stemmed from like the Phillies following like really random fans that just, let's be honest, probably don't deserve it. Whereas John is bringing, information and good quality content.
It's been mentioned on the Phillies broadcast a time or two.
Yeah, we certainly have. So gotta love that, getting the PSA and the Diamond Club name out there. But John, it'll make it happen, dude. But if you have not, please make sure you follow him. So we can get.
I feel like we need to get this message out to guys like Tom McCarthy, like Kruk, see if they can, get behind this movement.
Right. Yeah. You definitely need someone higher up to kind of help. For sure. But yeah. So
I'm sure Kincaid will help too.
Yeah. Yeah. McLeod's your starting safety, no doubt.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, it does not look good that he's be ready for week 1. So Anthony Harris is sitting there ready to go. And who's your other starting safety if McLeod's out? Is it Kevon Wallace or Kayvon? Sorry.
Yeah, I would assume so.
I mean, what's your other option? Is it Epps?
Oh God.
Right.
I know they talked about that during the Jets game, which, by the way, there's a couple things I want to talk about from the Jets game if we have a chance, the preseason game.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, look, I don't get crazy over the results of preseason games.
No, as one shouldn't.
But I will say, I want to see if you'll guess this. The point in time in the game that I turned to my wife and said, if this was a regular season game, I'd be losing my effing mind.
Probably. I know me at the end of the game, when I can't remember his name, picked up that fumble and ran it in for a touchdown instead of just falling on the ball.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, because I said if he just goes down, then
game's over.
Yeah, game's over. Right. And so if it was a regular season game, I'd have been losing my mind.
No, absolutely. I don't.
Now, I also think that, like, to me, that's one of those plays where scoring a touchdown was the worst thing he could do there.
Clearly. And,
like, you have to have the football IQ to know when you have a chance to end the game, you end the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
like,
it would be different. It would be different if they were up and it would have made it up more than 2 scores.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Then the fact that it was exactly 8 points, and it was awful. Chris chiming in, McLeod is a wasted roster spot, has to be Kayvon. And follow up that, which is just the best comment ever. I'd rather Omar Epps than Marcus Epps. I agree. Chris, also another co-host of the greatest Phillies podcast out there, the Diamond Club podcast. Hey, Philly Sports Alliance, we support each other,
Another thing I have to point out, and I promised Jody I would point it out on the show.
Okay.
We watched the Eagles game, obviously, together on Friday night.
Okay.
And so during the game, we're watching as Kenny Gainwell is running, and she turns to me and says, "Gosh, he kind of reminds me of a Darren Sproles." And I just looked at her. I said, "All right, huh? Like that's the way to be on top of things." Like,
yeah, that's not bad.
I think and I said to her, I think that's a great comp because at first I was thinking like, he's another Boston Scott type. Like he should look to try to assume Boston Scott's old role.
Yeah,
I think Boston Scott's kind of going into more of an expanded role. Look, I think he, like, as much as I love Miles Sanders, I think like if you have the ball late in the game and you're looking to run some clock, I'm telling you, I just trust Boston Scott to not put it on the ground.
Yeah, but listen, I think
That's just the one thing. Like, maybe he's not going to break the long run, but like, I just trust that he's not going to put the ball on the ground. He's not going to kill you.
sure. I mean, there is that stigma with Miles Sanders. Now, I was lucky enough to be a guest on the Bird Gang Nation Sports talk last night, and yeah, we kind of talked about Miles Sanders and how this kind of has to be one of those breakout years. And I kind of, and I also said Dallas Goedert, but I kind of equated to Zach Ertz. When Zach Ertz first came here, we thought we had a stud, and he showed flashes, but never really put it together for his first couple of years. And it took him a little while before he finally broke out and kind of became a top end tight end. So I'm really hoping the two of them, Sanders included, kind of takes that next step. I mean, yes, technically he was on the Pro Bowl roster last year. That and a dollar will get you.
Yeah, they didn't play the Pro Bowl, so
right. Yeah, so it's kind of like whatever, but I'm just really hoping he really goes out and earns this spot for sure. What's up, Mike? What's going on, buddy? What's good, fellas? Can't wait for that Denver trip. Hell yeah. I'm really hoping that's going to be a great game. November in Denver. I'm going to have to layer up. I'm actually not.
Yeah, what's that, November 14th?
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that part, but I'm heading out to Denver. It's going to be fantastic. And I know Mike will be there. So appreciate you checking in, Mike, bud. Mike, an old friend of the show. Then actually we finally met Mike in one of the open practice. The first one. Yeah. Oh, very cool. Very cool. So yes, I think it's of the utmost importance for the two of them to kind of take that next step. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Now looking at this team as where it stands right now, they still have tomorrow at 4? Is that?
Yeah, tomorrow 4:00. They have to get down to 53, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So right now, I think they have like 20 more to go.
Oh boy,
something like that. I mean,
yeah, I knew it was pretty bad earlier. I'm just like, man, are they just waiting to the last minute, getting that last like? And hey, look, deadline spurn action. I'm one of those that always says that. But like at this point, I feel like you should know who your 53 are. Or
I would
at least down to the last couple spots.
They know who their 60 is for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think the last couple, maybe it's 58 or whatever. I'm not trying to whatever, but those last couple ones are certainly they're figuring out now. Earlier this week, or I guess late last week, the Eagles released quarterback Nick Mullins, followed by a few days or a day later, I guess, trading for Gardner Minshew. I never really got a chance to. We didn't really talk about it, but I'll put you on the spot. What are your thoughts on Gardner Minshew? What do you think he brings to the table? Was it a smart move? What about Flacco? What are you thinking here?
I mean, maybe puts a little pressure on Flacco as a backup. But I mean, look, let's be honest. It's more of a depth move. If something were to happen to Jalen, you want to have as many guys, like in this case where you have two other quarterbacks, making sure you have guys who have real game experience and, maybe one that's actually won a game here and there. Mullins was not good when he was here.
No, he was not.
And I think I'm being nice by just saying not good.
Yeah, I mean, Mullins obviously was able to do it for San Fran when called upon, but he's looked real bad this camp. He's looked real bad in the preseason games, and obviously it was no shocker that he got released. But do you think Minshew will be the number 2 or eventually maybe take the number 2? What do you think?
That could be one of those things where they just kind of want to get him in their roster, get him in their room because they're thinking that, if Flacco only signed a 1-year deal, maybe Gardner Minshew is going to be their plan to be number 2 in 2022. And regardless of where they feel like their quarterback situation is in a year. Because, hey, look, this is still very much the show me year for Jalen Hurts.
Sure.
And if Jalen Hurts isn't the answer, they'll probably be looking at the draft. And if they are looking at the draft, they might be thinking, well, if we have our bridge quarterback already here and it's Gardner Minshew, like that could be kind of the plan, is a sort of just in case. You know, it covers your bases either way. If Jalen Hurts is your guy, is your quarterback one, then you say, okay, in a year, you know what, Flacco's probably moving on. We'll just slide Gardner Minshew into that quarterback 2 spot. And if Jalen Hurts isn't your guy and you want a bridge quarterback, you slide Minshew into that temporary one, and then you go draft your quarterback of the future.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were reading into it.
I think they're reading into it too much. Yeah,
that idiot Elliott Shore-Parks was like, oh, this is the worst trade ever. They're only doing this so they can trade for Deshaun Watson.
Why? Why would this help them? Why would Gardner Minshew help them trade?
So they could trade Hurts and picks to Houston. And Deshaun Watson would be suspended this year, so that way you have Gardner Minshew starting this year to at least, I don't know, for what.
Well, I would think your plan to be to start off, like, if let's say Elliott Shore-Parks would be 100% correct in that scenario.
Doubtful, but yes, go ahead.
But let's just suspend reality for a second. And why wouldn't you just start Flacco in that spot?
Why wouldn't you start you or me so you can suck, get a good draft pick, for whatever you have remaining from Houston?
Like, I don't feel like you need to make a separate move to set yourself up to get Deshaun Watson for him to get suspended for you. Like, if that was your plan, like, then Flacco's your starter, and like, even if you don't want to keep Nick Mullins on your roster anymore, then you go pick somebody else up and they'll be your backup.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really get it either, but so I liked it. You got him for a 6th rounder, a conditional, 5th. He makes under 900,000. I mean, it was a no-brainer. You're adding talent to your room. Now, again, which is, it is what it is, but Joe Flacco signed for what, $3.5 million guaranteed,
right?
Which, is whatever. That's awful.
Well, it's the backup quarterback money. That's
right, but unfortunately, it kind of sucks. But
it's kind of high-end backup quarterback money. Yeah,
Minshew's making, I think, $850, which is pretty good. Now, he signed a 4-year deal, 2.7-ish million back in 2019. So 19, 20, 21. So he'll be signed up until 22, which is nice.
Which means the plan would be, like I said, in that scenario, if Hurts isn't your guy, then Minshew becomes that bridge quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%. So, so the Eagles this week, or a couple days ago, I should say, keep forgetting that today's Monday for some reason.
I wish it wasn't.
Yeah, tell me about it. Have made a couple of cuts. Let's go over the cuts and let me know what you think.
Okay.
If you've one, heard of the guy. 2, do you care? And
I've most likely heard of them, and I also most likely do not care.
Okay. All right. Okay, here's one that I think might stump the hump.
Okay.
Carrie Angeline.
Good guy. You're gonna know him for a while. Who the hell is Carrie Angeline?
I've never heard of him before either. He apparently is a tight end from Downingtown East, mind you, signed with the Eagles last week to take some reps at tight end after serious injury to Jason Kroom. He got to face the Jets in 2 joint practices and played a little bit in the preseason game. Good for Angeline.
Yeah, hopefully you got some good game tape out there that I didn't notice because I didn't notice him. I suppose 0 targets in that game.
Yeah. Jody says, thanks for the shout out, trying to increase her football IQ with your help. Learning a lot from your show. Why, thank you, Jody. You should say nice things more often. And by the way, where's Ward been? By the way,
Well,
not
I
that
believe
has anything to do with this.
no. I believe Ward has disappeared and somebody else has taken their place.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dylan chimes in. Minshew might legit be the best quarterback on the team.
Time will tell. I mean, look.
If Hurts ends up sucking, yeah, he might be. I mean,
Yeah.
knowing Philly and knowing how much we love our backup quarterbacks, by week 3 or 4, we might be calling for Minshew mania. You never know.
Hey, it'll be fun.
Listen, the first 6 games are atrocious.
Yeah.
If we come out of there with 2 wins, I'll be happy.
If they come out of the first 6, 2 and 4, I will be ecstatic.
I'll be happy. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, when we go 1 and 5, people are going to be freaking out and saying, "Oh, Jalen Hurts.
Sirianni sucks. We need to fire him."
He's 2-8. Hurts is 2-8. He sucks. Put in Minshew. Put in Flacco. Whoever. It's undoubtedly going to happen. Sadly.
And you'll undoubtedly get those guys calling up. They should have never traded Wentz.
Oh yeah. No. They'll even go further.
Those should have said they should have never gotten rid of Foles.
Yeah, we should trade for Foles. All right, moving on. Defensive end Jaquan Bailey out of Iowa State. Sadly, seemed to be a decent player, but pretty deep at the defensive end.
Yeah, I think he's just a victim of the numbers game.
Yeah. Now this one's going to sting a lot of people, and personally, I couldn't be happier. It is. Wow, that really sounded mean, didn't it?
Yeah, I liked it. I dug it.
Oh, man, that's funny. Running back Elijah Holyfield.
He got knocked the bleep out.
Yeah. He'll probably end up on the practice squad, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Holyfield. I mean, for some odd reason.
And I can't for the life of me figure out why.
It's because he's got guns and he's got a famous father. But
okay,
he's the next coming of Barry Sanders or something. Yeah?
Of course.
Next up, wide receiver Markin Michel, brother of recently traded Sony Michel, and their little known unknown younger brother Toshiba Michel.
Toshiba.
That was a TV joke.
Hey.
Get it?
Yeah.
Toshiba. All right. So this was the second stint for Michelle on the squad. Unfortunately, it's super deep at running back, or at least super young and talented enough.
I'm more disappointed for Michelle than I am for Holyfield.
Oh, wow. There you go. I like that, actually. Next up, linebacker Rashad Smith, undrafted out of Florida Atlantic back in 2020. I think he bounced around with the Bears, the Cowboys, before joining the Eagles. I think he was briefly on the practice squad last year, and probably potentially could be back there again. So those were the recent cuts this week. Obviously, when you take 2 people off the PUP list, that adds 2 more back to the roster. So
so you have to cut some more people.
You got to cut a couple more people, sadly.
I'm just waiting for the Homer Simpson. I didn't get to cut as many of you as I wanted to, but I got to cut a few of you.
So let's go over the roster, because I think there's about 3 spots. 3 spots where I really think it's going to be tough. And there's going to be a lot of tough decisions to be made. And I think, wide receiver being one of them. I think safety is one of them. And I think corner could be one of them. But let's dive in. Let's just go.
Whoa. I'm sorry. I just saw a terrible comment.
Oh, no. Can we please?
I'm trying to take care of my.
He's literally wearing Greg Ward jersey. That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
Man.
I couldn't have scripted that any better.
No, it's not.
I wish it was. I've got to look for my Mitchell jersey.
I'm not going to try to turn around and show my ass here, but it is a Greg Ward jersey.
I can confirm that it is a Greg Ward jersey. Bald Eagle, none too happy either. Okay. Dude, I love it. I absolutely love it. That couldn't be any more perfect timing.
I mean, it is my last name. That's part of why I got it.
I mean, yes. But still, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that for a while. Not gonna lie. Sorry. All right, here we go. Chip for the Bird says, I just can't deal with his mediocre play except for 2 games per season. Give the spot to a young guy.
What's Greg Ward, 97? He is a young guy.
All right. Yes, technically you are correct. But he is the old man in the room. So,
well, the old man in the room can't even rent a car in this wide receiver group.
I think he can he?
You have to be 25. Is Greg Ward 25?
I'm pretty sure he is. Oh, now we're getting into some arguments. This is what I like. Bald Eagle coming back.
Nice. Thank you, Baldy.
He was constantly
That's your new nickname now, Baldy. I'm sure Baldy won't mind.
I mean, Baldy's breakdowns, right?
Yeah.
He is just okay. Thank you about Boston Scott, by the way. I agree. Him and Boston Scott, we know what they are. They are just okay. I couldn't agree more. I really think they are just.
Well, I think you're asking, what are you going to really ask for out of your slot receiver? And that's what Greg Ward's supposed to be. Your other 2 guys are supposed to take the top off the defense, be the great route runners. Greg Ward, let him get open 5-6 times a game and catch some first downs. That's what he's like. Not everybody's going to catch 100 balls.
Listen, you are correct. And Greg Ward has been asked to do a lot of things throughout his Eagles career that was well above his probably talent level. Bald Eagle says, who's replacing Ward? Rieger? Come on.
And isn't the reason Rieger was drafted instead of Justin Jefferson because he was supposed to be an outside receiver because they felt confident in the slot? Which why? I don't know, but
you are right on that one for sure. Yeah, that one obviously didn't make sense. But listen, it's gonna be Smith, Rieger, Watkins, and then Ward at 4. And then Fulgham or JJ, whoever makes the team.
Oh God, please, not JJ. And I know that play the other night. Oh God! And I texted you right afterwards.
While we wait for the jabs back and forth, because I'm loving this, by the way.
I love it too.
Appreciate it. Andre Patton. Yeah, okay.
General Patton.
Yeah. All right, so let's go over the quarterbacks. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Hurts, Flacco, Minshew, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'll rearrange the order to put Minshew as number 1, but no, Hurts, Flacco, Minshew.
All right, running backs. Again, I personally think this is an easy one, too.
Yeah.
Sanders, Scott, Gainwell, Howard. Whatever order you want.
Well, I mean, yeah, as long as Miles Sanders is in that top slot, the rest of them can fall in wherever you want them.
Yeah, I mean, Huntley certainly has a shot, but again, he just kind of got
I think
hurt.
he's going to be a victim of the numbers game too.
Well, I mean, maybe. I think he has a spot potentially to
practice
on short-term IR, and then maybe bounce back and forth between the practice squad and whatnot, because his return game is pretty good.
Yeah, if you got to hide him on the practice squad, some team might scoop him up too.
Yeah, well, that is true. But running backs, I feel like those type of running backs can be had.
Sure.
All right, wide receivers. This is where it gets a little dicey, folks. Smith, Rieger, Watkins, Greg Ward, and J.J. Arthega-Whiteside.
No, it's Please fold them. Please fold them.
So you're going Fulgham over Whiteside, right?
I would like to, but I'll be completely honest. I know it's biased because I can't stand JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Even though one of the things I always pound the table for are guys that play well in special teams. And Arcega-Whiteside plays well in special teams.
He certainly has stepped up his special team game for sure.
And being that last receiver on the roster, and considering the other four really don't do much in special teams.
No, that's correct. So
that probably does keep Arcega-Whiteside on the roster.
Unfortunately, I just don't think Fulgham, had a great camp, and neither did Hightower. They didn't do enough to kind of take JJ off this team. And, his play the other night certainly really helped. So.
Oh, sure. And I mean, he'd been playing well on special teams in each game, and then getting a nice offensive play there, that
helps.
That certainly boosts things for him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Tight ends, while we still have Zach Ertz, he'll be on the squad with Dallas Goedert and Tyree Jackson, who has been impressive up until he got hurt. Now, I'm not sure exactly how long, but maybe he'll be on the PUP list, or potentially on the injured reserve with designated.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see the three of them. Hopefully, there we go. By that logic, the preseason play, Andre Dillard starts at left tackle over Jordan Mailata.
Which logic are you referring to? Because JJ Arcega-Whiteside had a good play or had a good game. Look,
did Dillard have a good game?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, Dillard was all right. Like,
was he hurt? Was he even in the game?
Yeah, he played on.
Friday night. I mean, yeah. I was at the Phillies game, so I DVR'd it. Listen, I'm not saying that I want Arcega-Whiteside.
And at no point did we say we thought Arcega-Whiteside should start. We just said he probably made the roster.
Very true, but I think the ceiling for Fulgham is a lot higher than Whiteside. I think we've already seen Whiteside, and again, if he could ever put those very small flashes together into an actual game, yeah, he might be a serviceable wide receiver, but he obviously hasn't. At least Fulgham has. And for a few games until he was, benched for Alshon Jeffrey. So, listen, he may not be having a good camp. I would still take Fulgham over Arcega-Whiteside. I'm just saying this is what I think the Eagles will do. Agreed. Fulgham has a natural skill set that can be coached up 100%.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. And
Arcega-Whiteside honestly seems like he needs a little coddling.
Yeah, and I don't like JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I don't want him to be on this team.
We know.
But I feel like right. I think I've made that point abundantly clear.
A little bit.
Yeah. But, God, I think he probably is going to make the team because of his special teams. Because there's no other who else on this roster at the receiver position plays special teams? You got to have some guys with some speed playing special teams.
You'd think. All right, so moving on to the offensive line. Obviously, we got the starters in Mailata, Seumalo, Kelsey, Brooks, Lane Johnson. I think for now, unless he gets traded in the next couple of days, Andre Dillard will be on the squad. Nate Herbig, Jack Driscoll, Landon Dickerson, now that he's off the PUP list, and potentially I'm going to go with Raven Clark. I think he kind of makes it over Pryor or Toth.
Yeah, I felt like Pryor had a tough game on Friday night. Keep wanting to say Thursday, just because all the preseason games are Thursdays.
No, I agree. Yeah, so again, I think that decision will come down to Toth, Pryor, and Raven Clark for that last spot.
Yeah.
I think they keep 10, two sets of lines there. Moving on to the defense. Defensive ends: Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Sweat, Kerrigan, and Teron Jackson. I think Teron Jackson is certainly could be the one on the bubble. Should they?
Yeah, I mean, everybody else either has a pedigree or like.
Yeah, I think, I think he's certainly a little bit of a project, but I still would take my chance on him. Mm-hmm. Moving on to defensive tackles, pretty straightforward. Fletcher Cox, Juwan Hargrave, Milton Williams, and I honestly think Ty McGill makes it.
Yeah, I feel like Ty McGill, like he played a lot the other night and really played well.
Yeah. So, I agree that, I think he had a great game. So, linebackers, Eric Wilson, Alex Singleton, TJ Ward, Davion Taylor, Sean Bradley, and Jacoby Stevens. I think Bradley could certainly be on that little bubble. Jordan Avery is another name that maybe could replace Bradley. Again, I'm not sure. I think Avery. I think Avery isn't he on short term? Same with Taylor, aren't they on short term?
Yeah.
So they'll probably be on short term.
So they'll stay on the roster and not have to take a roster spot.
Right. Yeah, but wouldn't they have to cut 2 people and then put them on IR and then bring them back if they clear waivers? Wouldn't that be the way it works?
I believe so.
Yeah, so again, I think somebody
could be an interesting, a couple days.
I mean, I guess then the strategy would be to keep Jacoby Stevens and Avery, cut Bradley, and say Patrick Johnson, I guess, would be the other person on a bubble. And then put those 2 on a short term, bring back Bradley and Patrick Johnson.
Yeah, that works for me.
Corners, I think this one's pretty easy. Slay, Nelson, Maddox, McPherson, and Craig James. I mean, there's not really, I guess Jaquette, but his great play kind of turned into a bad play because he screwed up.
Well, and he had a rough game before that.
True. That is true.
And wasn't he the one that ended up giving up the touchdown too?
Was he really? I like I said, I DVR'd it and fast forwarded through everything. That's funny if it really was. All right, moving on to safeties: Anthony Harris, McLeod, Epps, Elijah Riley, and Kevon Wallace. I think that one's actually pretty straightforward because there's really nothing else. I think I wasn't a big fan of Adams, so he gone.
Sure.
And there's nobody really that stood out, and I think they're going to end up taking 5 D-backs or 5 safeties and then 5 corners. So, and then lastly, special teams. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Elliot Siposs, is that how you pronounce it?
Syphilis, I think.
Siposs, Siposs?
Siposs.
Like we're supposed to know how to pronounce his name?
Apparently.
And then obviously Rick Demi Lovato is back on the squad. So that is your kind of rough 53. Certainly things can and absolutely will change.
That's the one thing that's certain is things will change.
So we, like I said, we have less than 24 hours to determine kind of the other spots on the roster. Next big thing, obviously, is September the 9th, which is the first game on that Thursday night.
Yes, it is.
Cannot wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then obviously Sunday after that in Atlanta.
Eagles, Falcons. Yeah, Battle of the Birds.
Battle of the Birds. So we're going to be trying to do tailgate pre-shows from the Wells Fargo lot between C1 and C3, but not C2.
Yeah. C2.
Not C2. So if you guys are down C2 games, studios. What was that?
We should call it the C2 Studios.
C2 Studios, yeah.
Yeah.
or the not C2.
Not C2 Studio. There we go. That's the name.
So yeah, if you're down tailgating, please certainly stop by. We'll make sure that you know where we are. We'll have a big old tent and set up down there. So I can't wait to start going games. In fact, so I was already going to get to games with a buddy of mine who's had season tickets for a while. They were his father's, and long story short, it's now his. So they're pretty nice seats. So I've been, obviously not last year, but the year before that, started going to games again, as it's been a little while since I've had season tickets. And I threw my name, in the hat a while ago. The other day, I got a random call from the Eagles saying, "Hey, do you want tickets?" I was like, "Hells yeah, I do."
Hells yeah.
So actually 2 sections away from you, a little bit more in the corner.
Yeah.
Zone in 230. But I got tickets for this upcoming season and obviously and beyond. So people need tickets. Please let me know. They're going fast already, but I figure I'll kind of just sell them, while I can, and while I have the opportunity to have much better seat. And obviously, when my friend's son gets of the age, I'm sure he'll be going to the games.
And you'll be given the boot, and
I'll be given the boot, and I'll go get my seats for a few seasons, and then my son will be of age. So,
well, there you go. Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Full circle. So, all right. So, like I had mentioned earlier, I was a guest host on Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk last night, and Bird Gang 31, aka Randall, is a very optimistic fellow.
Sure.
Very optimistic. He was talking like 11, 12. I think at one point he may have said 13 wins. Which,
God bless him. I hope I can be that positive.
Right. I mean, listen, I wish, I wish I was that positive.
Sure.
Now, listen, I'm not saying he's right or wrong or nothing like that. That's not what that's about. I said 7. I think I've been 7. I think maybe they'll drop down to 6, maybe go up to 8. If everything goes right in the world, maybe 9.
Right. I would agree with that. Yeah.
And that might be enough to win that division. So, sure. Again, I don't think division is necessarily out of the realm because the Giants are a heap of trash. The Redskins are inconsistent, have a good, front 7, but don't really have much other than that. Offensively.
And I mean, how much Fitz magic are you going to get, and how much Fitz tragic?
Right, exactly. So, and Dallas is, can't get it out of their own way. So, who knows about Dak? His health. Zeke cut it down the air. So, a lot of question marks for all teams in the NFC East. And I think,
Zeke's got the, he had a really down year. He's, of course, now on the Steve Shredders in fantasy football, so he's destined to have a down year.
Well, I have him in another league, so I have nothing to have that down of the year. Just, not as good. But anyway, I think this division certainly could be had. I mean, like I said, if those first 6 games, if they get 2 wins out of
oh God, if they get 2, if they by some miracle get 3.
Oh, get 3. Well, shit, we might as well,
I might be on Randall's side then.
Yeah, I might have to call the broad stream and be like, "Yo, get the parade ready, bro."
Right?
Get the parade ready. So, listen, I don't think it's happening. I think we have an opportunity to beat Atlanta. I think we have an opportunity to beat San Fran. Tampa's obviously, I don't think. Kansas City, I don't think. Trying to think.
Yeah, what if you start off with that? You start off 3-0. What if you go to Dallas?
That's right. Dallas is 3. Yeah, I mean listen.
Dude, you start off 3-0, and
listen, that is so very possible. That is
so
very possible because again, division games. I don't care if you're the worst team and they're the best team.
Right.
Division games, anything can happen.
Oh man, during those runs the Eagles were having in the early 2000s, how many games did we struggle with Washington, who was terrible?
Yeah.
I remember a Saturday night game, watching the game with my dad, last game of the season, and regular season, we had to win it to get home field advantage or to even secure the division. And I remember, man, when we won on that last play, Washington throwing the ball to the like a Hail Mary,
right?
And it just happened to get out of the end zone. That last second ticked off, and I said, "Let's get the hell out of DC." When? What the hell?
Yeah, no, it's always tough games, and listen, I think a lot of people are high up on San Fran.
Sure.
Listen, I'm not a great Garoppolo believer, and I think he'll be the starter at that point. I don't think Trey Lance is going to take over just yet. And I'm not, a huge Garoppolo fan. And listen, I think they have some weapons. They have a plethora of running backs. They have George Kittle. They have Deebo Samuel. Like they definitely have some stuff. And
they're good.
And their front seven's pretty good. But I'm just not buying the hype. And I think again, if Jalen Hurts is to be anything of what the flashes we saw last year, or that the game against Arizona where he pretty much matched Kyler Murray shot for shot. I think it's certainly very possible that they could come out of this, 2-1, 3-0 in the first 3 games. But then I could also see them going 0-3. So.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Atlanta's a tough place to play. They even when the Falcons are bad, which is most of the time, they're usually pretty good at home.
They're still competitive. Yeah, and exactly at home, they're great at home. I mean, Matt Ryan may be a little recruit QB at this point, but he still has weapons. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, they're trash, and the defense.
I hate the fact that I'm at the point in my life now when they point out a player's old, and I realize they're 4 years younger than me.
That's most people.
Yeah,
you are super old, dude.
Am I rapidly approaching old man status?
Dude, you're there, bro. I mean, I don't want to be the one to say this, but
I am the old man.
The old man, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to embrace it just like the old man did.
You might as well, right? You might as well.
It's happening.
All right, folks. Well, we have one more episode, right? Until
next week. Yeah, next Monday.
I'm trying to. My days are all messed up right now. So so we'll have one more episode before the start.
It'll be Labor Day.
It will be Labor Day. Special Labor Day edition of the show. So check that out. We'll be back next week. Don't forget to check out the just plethora of shows on the Philly Sports Network. I'll bring up the.
But is it the Diamond Club podcast tonight has a special episode?
Well, I was just about to get that. Thank you very much. So take a look at the lineup. Now this is about to get updated as we've added about 2 to 3 shows here towards the end of the week. But coming up later tonight at I believe at 7:30. Can I confirm that? But yes, later tonight on the Philly Sports Alliance. Matt Breen of the Philadelphia Inquirer is going to be on with the boys from the Diamond Club podcast. I cannot wait. It's going to be such a great show. These dudes, honestly, they just know their football, their baseball, and they love their Phillies. And honestly, it's one of the most informative, just funny shows out there. So give it a chance. Give it a listen. Tomorrow, I'll be back on the Philly broadcast. With Ryan talking all 4 for 4. Wednesday is the Bald Eagle podcast. Don't forget to make sure you check him out, especially in season with the Bald Eagle breakdowns. Wednesday is Mike Sports, all things football. Thursday, Tendies on Pattison at 5:30. And Thursday, the TLC podcast, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs with Eric and T. And actually, and I'm not sure if Eric even knows this, but we have added another wrestling show.
Really?
That'll actually be on later on Thursday.
Okay.
In fact, if I can remember who this person is, because I don't know wrestling. Let's see if I can find it real quick, because I know you would know who this person is that they're having on. It's a female wrestler, and she's apparently pretty popular.
Okay.
This is going to take me forever. I almost cursed. But
You did almost curse.
But I didn't.
I love how you sing it as we go.
Okay, yes. So the show is, let's see, Off the Top Ropes, which debuts this Thursday, I believe. Layla Gray.
Oh, shoot. That's awesome.
Yeah. So she'll be talking with Tyrone Ashbury, who is the host of Off the Top Ropes. So check that out if you're a big wrestling fan. Basically, it's like Wrestling Thursday at this point.
Yeah, Tyrone, message me. Let's start coordinating. We can get some stuff done. We can get some like.
Well, listen, he's going to have pretty much a guest on every week. So you got to get your guest game up. That's all I can say.
Well, with wrestling, it's going to be tough for me. I don't know that many people in the wrestling business.
So you just reach out to him on Twitter. That's what everybody else does.
I'll do. I already know the first one I'm going to reach out to. I'm just gonna tweet him. Hey, want to come on my show?
Let's start small. Let's not go for like The Rock or Mankind or somebody, you know.
So John Cena, I shouldn't start off with John Cena.
Probably not John Cena.
Okay.
He's probably too busy making movies.
Yeah, so I shouldn't challenge John Cena to a rap battle on the show.
You definitely shouldn't do that. Although, actually, no, do that.
Because I will get obliterated.
Because you would get obliterated, and I would love to see you attempt to rap. That would bring me much enjoyment. So, but yeah, folks, just real quick, thank you so much for everybody for love and support for the Philly Sports Alliance, for the Football Smack Talk show, for all our shows on the network, for the sub networks we have at the Phillyverse and CEV Sports and Driveway Athletes, just the whole family for the Philly Sports Alliance. Honestly, I'm so thankful for everybody that's part of it, that does things day in and day out, and for all of you who interact with all of us. So real quick shout out. Thank you very much to the Bald Eagle, Sean, John, Chris, Danny from the Diamond Called Podcast, and Chris and Paul and Jack from Teddy's on Patterson, Eric and Ryan, and T and Jay, even Jay, and all of our new hosts. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We got some big things coming. I'm going to be hopping on some shows coming up this week, hopefully this week, but you'll be seeing me on some other shows. Like I said, I was just on Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk yesterday.
I want to suggest something right here on air for you. Mm-hmm. A while back, the Fanatic did what they call like their All-Star Day, where it's like different hosts join different shows. I feel like we should do something like that, where like, I come in on like one week, like we just do that throughout the week. Like, maybe we'd have like
someone from another show come on every show.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that a lot. All right. Well, we'll do it. We'll set it up. So.
All right.
But yeah, we got kind of some big things coming up. Maybe some collabs in the future. So stay tuned. You can make sure you check us out on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, at Philly Sports PSA, or you can certainly just search Philly Sports Alliance. We'll certainly pop up as well. So thank you very much, Sean, John, Chris, Mike, Jody, Dylan, Chip for the Birds on Twitter. I'll actually be joining the show with him shortly.
Nice.
And thank you very much for that back and forth with Sean the Bald Eagle. That was very enjoyable.
That was fantastic.
People argue in comments. It's my favorite part. All right, everybody. We will see you guys next week, and I will see you throughout the week on many different shows as well, Eric, as this is all we do. So
pretty much.
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you next week. That's it for us. Eric, anything to add before we get on out of here?
Nah.
All right. Love to hear it. So for the Football Smack Talk show, I'm Ryan.
I'm Eric. Happy football, everybody. Only 10 days to go. And only 13 for the Eagles.
wait, what?
And only 13 for the Eagles.
Oh, and 13 for the Eagles. I missed that part. I was like, wait, 10 days for the Eagles. What? Wait,
Yeah,
where was I? Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know the game got flexed to Thursday night.
Yeah, I got flexed. All right, 13, and don't forget, we got some our 13 or our 30 days of jerseys. We're on 13 day. What is it? 18, I guess.
18. Today's 18, right? Tomorrow's 19.
31. Yeah. So 13 days left. I picked Fulgham. You picked Ward, which you're wearing currently.
Yep.
So check it out. We're wearing a jersey every day up until the start of the season. So check us out on all of our social media accounts and join in if you want. So other than that, we'll see you guys next week. We'll see you all throughout the week on other shows. Thank you very much, and go Birds.
Go Birds.
Later.
Later.